Hi, this is Jenny Langley, author of the new Maudsley training manual, and in this video we'll look at exercise 1.3, which is a really important video about agreeing ground rules in a group setting. Okay, so we want to have ground rules so that the carers feel safe and confident, that they're in a confidential environment, that it's non-judgmental, and that they're with like-minded people. And when you're with like-minded people and you feel safe, then it's really, really easy to learn these new skills. And we find actually that the carers pick up the new skills quicker than even professionals in a professional training setting, because they've got so much emotional investment in learning new things to help their loved ones. So we want to have a safe environment, but also we want to make sure carers realise, what the boundaries are, and that there are some things that the workshops clearly aren't. So the workshops don't provide therapy for the carers. Sometimes carers find it really useful to go outside of the group and get their own individual one-to-one therapy if they're having a really tough time or they're feeling really exhausted or distressed by what's going on. The workshops aren't a place just to moan about local services, although it can be tempting. But what we do in the workshops is we talk a lot about communication with care teams. If we've got disagreements with them or we're confused about the process of the treatment protocol, then we talk a lot about how we can engage with the services so that we're all working together to help the young person who's struggling with an eating disorder. And of course the workshops aren't instructions on how to fix the sufferer. Nobody can do that. The only person that can change the sufferer really is themselves. But what the workshops can help the carers to do is come alongside the sufferer and really walk with them on their recovery journey and support them through all the different stages. So what we do in the workshops, there's some basic psychoeducation about eating disorders, and then we teach the skills that they use at the Maudsley Hospital. So it's all communication skills, it's experimental skills, it's being able to tolerate distress, all that sort of thing. Okay, so the three essential ground rules are confidentiality, so really important that carers feel that they won't be exposed in their local community. So, if they meet someone on a train, they're not going to suddenly be saying, oh, how's your daughter doing? Is she back home yet? Or if I see somebody out in the street in town, I might wave, but I'm not going to make any inquiries, because obviously these are really private issues that we're talking about. Non-judgmental, again, this is really important. So every family is in a very unique situation, and what's important for one family might not be important for another. So things like a family might be concerned that their loved one is eating soup with a fork or eating spaghetti with a spoon, that sort of thing. And then somebody else might be thinking, well, at least they're eating soup and spaghetti. But we try to sort of completely be non-judgmental of each other within the workshops. It can be difficult when there's things like people talking about self-harm or violence, and some carers find that, oh, that's not happening in our house. I hope that doesn't happen in our house. But we try just to be very accepting of everyone and their situations. And then of course pro-recovery. Now most carers of course are pro-recovery, but we do sometimes have carers who are worried that their loved one will never recover. And that can be quite draining within a group setting. And so we do have lots of stories of recovery, and sort of make sure that there's hope instilled, and just make sure that carers are aware that many people do make an absolute full recovery from an eating disorder, and some people learn to live with their eating disorder and have a really good quality of life as well. And then we want the carers to give us some of their own ground rules, because obviously it's their group settings. It might be, oh yeah, there's no right or wrong answers, you can just listen if you want to, respect individual views, take a break. That's a really important one, because sometimes it gets very distressing within the support group setting. Okay to cry, of course. We're talking about very emotional things. Okay to eat and drink. It can be quite a long time to be in a workshop for maybe 3 hours. So of course some people want to have a snack or a little drink or something. And appropriate humour is really important to help lift the mood. So some examples of that might be, somebody might be laughing about the fact that their son or daughter has got a special red plate and tiny little baby cutlery that they use, and somebody else will say, oh yeah, our son does that too, or our daughter does that. Or it might be, oh, we have to go to the supermarket to get this certain type of grapes, and then somebody else will, oh yeah, we do that as well. So there's a lot of camaraderie and sort of like the things that we get caught up in when we're supporting someone with an eating disorder. And there's one exercise we do which is called an affirmations or naughty child exercise, if you like, where half of the carers pretend to be the person suffering with an eating disorder and will say something quite inflammatory, and then the other half have to try and give that person an affirmation, which might just be thank you for telling me how you're feeling. But an example might be, I hate this food, it's complete rubbish, and why do you feed me this stuff? And then slamming the plate on the floor, and the carer might say, wow, you've got a really good right hand throw, or something like a loved one comes out of a therapy session and says, I hate therapy with a passion, and an affirmative response might be, it's great that you can feel so passionate about these things. So there are moments, many moments of humour, because basically we're all in it together. So I hope you found this useful. Don't forget that you've got all of the worksheets are downloadable from www.thenewmaudsleyaapproach.co.uk, and there's many videos that accompany these worksheets. Thank you.